Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Oleg, and today I wanted to talk about the new Nintendo Switch that has been announced and is supposed to be coming out about 2 months from now. Lots of hype coming out from it. I'm personally pretty excited about it, and I kind of wanted to make a video talking about, how does the Switch 2 compare to the Steam Deck? Now, I know that obviously the Switch 2 is yet to come out, but we already know some specs in regards to, how much power this thing's going to be putting out and kind of what we should be expecting from this new Switch. And I mean, the numbers are looking good. If you haven't seen the Nintendo Direct yourself, pretty much it's going to be rocking a 1080p screen. It's going to be able to go up to 120 hertz, and it's going to have VRR, which is variable refresh rate. And I mean, that's all pretty good news, guys. I mean, this looks like it's going to be comparable to something, screen wise to like a ROG Ally in terms of the resolution and the overall screen itself. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Kind of after the announcement, they've revealed the pricing for it, and it's supposed to retail for about $450 in the US. I'm not sure about the other countries. But I mean, that's not too terrible of a price. Things like the Steam Deck, this is going for $550 for the OLED. Unless you are looking at it like an LCD model, then the Steam Deck technically is a little bit more expensive than the Switch 2 is going to be. Now, we obviously don't know for sure how pre-orders are going to work, how available the Switch 2 is going to be at launch, and how long we're going to have to wait for stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely gonna be exciting to see. But one of the highlights that I wanted to talk about is, in terms of like what are you getting value wise from the Switch compared to the Steam Deck OLED. And I mean, one of the main things from the Switch is you're getting that universal kind of way of playing, kind of like the original Switch, where you can play in docked mode, you can play in handheld mode, and also it has a kickstand. The Steam Deck does not have a kickstand, so you're getting like different ways that you could be playing your games. So that kind of gives me a segment to the sponsor of this video, which is Wavelink. Wavelink are offering a Steam Deck dock / ROG Ally dock. It supports up to 4K 144 hertz, 2K at 165 hertz, and 1080p at 240 hertz. So high refresh rate gaming, which is pretty sweet. You are getting up to 10 gigabit per second USB ports, which is actually pretty high. Most docks like these go up to 5, I believe. So 10 gigabits is pretty sweet. HDMI port, 100 watt power, and the dock itself looks like this. Pretty sleek. You get this nice braided cable here that connects directly to your Steam Deck or your PC handheld. And yeah, you get an Ethernet port here. You got the ports in the back. Pretty solid dock. And we are pretty much getting 60 FPS on the dock. So yeah, if you want some nice high refresh rate gaming, hooked up to like your monitor or TV, the dock can definitely do it. Yeah, go ahead and check out Wavelink. I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description. I'm gonna be using an affiliate link to their Amazon page if you're interested in picking one of these up for yourself. And yeah, thank you Wavelink for sponsoring this video. All right, now back to the video. The reason why I brought up the Switch 2 price compared to the Steam Deck price is that even though the Switch 2 is supposed to be cheaper, MSRP, the one thing that isn't going to be cheaper are the games. We saw firsthand after the Nintendo Direct that Mario Kart World is supposed to retail for $80 US, which in my opinion is quite a lot for any game, let alone a, AAA first party game. Now, I'm not saying that Mario Kart World is going to be a bad game. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic game. But $80, in my opinion, is still quite a lot of money. I still believe that $70 for a game is a lot of money. I believe the other game that Nintendo will be releasing with the Switch 2, the Donkey Kong game, is supposed to retail for $70. But, I guess that's been more accepted as of late. There's a lot of AAA games being released for $70 brand new. So, yeah, I mean, with the prices going up, pretty much everything, I guess, including games now, it's going to be pretty rough for Switch 2 owners with buying games. And that's something that with the Steam Deck OLED, or pretty much any PC handheld, you're going to be avoiding that because you have access to Steam and its entire library of games. You have, Steam sales going on pretty much all the time from Valve. Spring Steam sales, summer sales, winter sales, all the time. And these games go on sale. You're getting AAA games going on sale that used to be $60, $70, and they're like half price. Or, closer to like $20, something, a lot more affordable for a game. So, in my opinion, I think that is the biggest advantage that Valve has right now over Nintendo. And, hopefully we see some changes in the future in terms of pricing for Nintendo, because I don't know how sustainable $80 is. Now, what Nintendo has going for it is brand recognition. Not everybody knows what a Steam Deck is, but a lot of people know what a Nintendo Switch is, or any Nintendo product, to be specific. So that's going to be one of the benefits for the Switch, is that it's probably going to be getting a lot of sales, a lot of pre-orders. So that's probably going to help Nintendo a lot. And yeah, personally for me, one of the bigger things I want to see with the Switch 2 is kind of getting back to creating like a more like soul-filled UI like they used to have with like the Wii U. In my opinion, the original Switch is pretty basic in terms of like what it shows. You have like your regular settings, but I feel like you're missing a lot in terms of like design that Nintendo consoles like the Wii U had or the 3DS had. To be honest, you don't even have things like, themes anymore. You just have your basic white or black theme. Nothing really was done with that. The social aspect of the Nintendo Switch was also pretty bad. You had your Nintendo Switch Online stuff, and they started charging for that to play online. But nothing really too crazy has been done there. But it is looking pretty hopeful for the Switch 2. You have a dedicated button now to bring up voice chat with your friends. So, that was a big feature that they were advertising, video chat with their camera that they are selling now separately. And, yeah, we don't know for sure how the UI is going to look, but, I'm very hopeful that they're probably going to be putting more work into that and driving that more. I understand that, a lot of the demographic for a Nintendo product is the younger audience, so they want to protect that. They don't want anything creepy going on, or, a lot of toxicity that maybe like a PlayStation or Xbox console have in terms of voice chatting. Definitely excited for what Nintendo's going to be bringing with the Switch 2. It kind of seems like this is going to be more of like a PC in a way, in terms of like the hardware it's going to have compared to Nintendo products in the past. I was reading something about how even their own backwards compatibility for the original Switch games is not even going to be hardware level, to be exactly, because the hardware is going to be so much different than the original Switch. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Yeah, definitely excited for what Nintendo's going to be cooking up with the Switch 2. And yeah, we'll see if it's going to be enough to dethrone something like, you know, the Steam Deck OLED in terms of like the go-to handheld for playing your favorite games. So yeah, really exciting stuff. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. I got plenty of content lined up. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.